When an aircraft engine is built, it is not immediately ready to carry passengers by attaching them to the aircraft. Instead, those engines have to go through some bizarre and difficult tests. One of the reasons for doing these engine testing processes is that the engines in the air do not cause any terrible accidents. The funny thing is that the newly built engines have to fight with dead birds and chickens before preparing to carry passengers. Also, you have to fight with water. Maybe you are wondering why the object has to fight with chickens and dead birds or water at a speed of thousands of feet, so let's find out why aircraft engines have to go through such bizarre tests. Stay with us to know all the assorted news. Bird strike test. This test may seem unusual to many, but it is very important to do this test because the aircraft has to be able to survive by fighting with the birds in the air. It is not uncommon to crash into the engine due to a flock of birds entering the engine while flying in the air. And to get rid of this risk, companies invent this bizarre test. The test was started by throwing the dead birds into the engine. Although the plane remained on the ground during the test, the engines continued to rotate at full power and then the dead birds were thrown into it. The test is not limited to the engine. This bizarre test is also done on windshields because birds don't just hit the engine. When a bird hits a high-speed aircraft, it is capable of inflicting as much damage as a rock, and the windshield is also tested by dead birds and chickens to ensure that the windshield survives the bird's injury. However, if a bird hits the engine or windshield of a large aircraft, there is no such damage. But if a small aircraft is hit by a bird, the engine and windshield are damaged, causing the aircraft engine to malfunction and land. There may be a terrible accident, and all these bizarre tests are done to get rid of all these possible accidents. Not only bird tests but also blade of procedure and lightning protection system tests are done to check the efficiency of the engine. And in today's episode we will know the beginning and end of all those strange tests. Blade of procedure. One of the most important parts of an aircraft is its blade, and the blade have to rotate about 3,000 times per minute, and as a result, the aircraft is able to fly in the sky. As a result, it is very important to place the engine blades firmly in the engine, because if a blade is placed in the engine loosely and it detached from the center during rotation at high speed, it can cause serious accidents including engine explosion. This is because these blades, which rotate 3,000 times per minute, can run through the engine and hit different parts of the engine in various ways. And the consequences will be several times more severe than a bird's injury and therefore require a blade rigidity test. Although the chances of the blade opening from the engine are very low, there are still instances in the history of aviation where the blade has detached unfortunately. And the plane has to go through all these tests to prevent this unfortunate accident from happening again. At the beginning of this test, the engineers attach some explosives to the base of each blade. When the engine starts spinning at high speeds, the blades explode to see if they will come out. If a blade comes out during this test, it is removed and later a new blade is added and tested. All-weather test. Newly built engines are constantly being upgraded in various ways to make them more efficient, and one of these upgrades is to enable the engines to fight the adverse nature. And for that purpose, some tests are done for the possibility of natural disasters, that is, the engines can survive in all kinds of natural environments, and the first test of these tests is the rapid velocity test of water. One of the reasons for doing this test is to check whether the engine can survive at all if it encounters a storm at high speed during the flight. During the test, about 400 gallons per minute of water flowed into the aircraft's engine. If the engine can withstand this injury, then it has to prepare for the next step. The next test is performed at a temperature that allows the aircraft to move smoothly in the ice region, which is even more severe than the rapid water test. The experiment was performed with ice particles, which were thrown into the engine as a rapid flow of ice water. In addition, the planes are taken to the polar region to test whether the engine can survive the cold. Whether the temperature there is up to -27 degrees Celsius. Not only at low temperatures, the engines also have to pass high temperature tests, so that there is no disruption in the movement of air due to fluctuations in high altitude temperature. Lightning test. Most of the time, when flying in the sky, the planes have to face various storms, rain and even thunder. Sometimes the planes have to face lightning without rain. And so the aircraft has to go through various tests to resist lightning. Surprisingly, every commercial aircraft is struck by lightning at least once a year. If the aircraft did not have lightning protection system, it would have been normal for any aircraft to crash due to lightning, which made air travel extremely unsafe. So engineers used many lighter materials, such as carbon fiber, on airplanes to protect against such hazards, which are more electrically conductive than aluminum. These are used in aircraft airframes and engines. The aircraft's ability to resist lightning is tested with high-powered electric flashes, and through all of these tests, the aircraft becomes so safe that even if lightning strikes the aircraft, the passengers cannot feel it at all. In flight check, the aircraft engines have to go through a final step after all the previous tests have gone north. This test basically tests the performance of the engine. In previous tests we have seen that the tests are done on the ground, but the final test is done while floating in the air. This test shows that the engine's ability to reach maximum speeds is better than the way it works on the ground. Once a newly built engine has passed the test, it does not have to wait for the next test. These engines are then approved by the FAA, so the next step in the engine is to carry passengers. Hope you liked the video. Please share it, and if you like to watch such type of mystery, thriller, uncommon and interesting videos, subscribe to T20 Mystery Channel now and press the bell icon next to it. Be safe and fine until the next video come. Thanks.